Hey Lisa, how are you? This is Steve Hubbard. Just wanted to kind of go over a few things with you so that you can sort of start tracking some of the information. So first of all, let's take a look at the traffic that's coming to your website. Um, we installed this thing called Jetpack. It's a plugin. Jetpack does several things, but one of the things that you can depend on it for is the site stats. So if you go to Jetpack, you hover over it, or you can just click on it. Um, it will take you to another screen. Now, what you're looking for in Jetpack is the settings. You want to go to the settings part of it. So let's click on the settings. Okay. Now, once the settings comes up, and I got to clear my history. That's the reason why it's going so slow. Let's do that now. No, I'll just do that later. So anyway, once you go to the settings, uh, you can go to, actually, let me back up here. I was going into a completely different area. All you need to do is click on site stats. That's all you need to do. And this is going to give you the stats for your website. So there was 21 views today. Um, this kind of gives you an idea of the refers, where the website was referred from. WordPress dashboard, and then also the RFQs, the actual website itself. But you can look at a summary, and the summary will kind of you can go back. I'm just gonna wait for it to pull up the stuff, so you can kind of go back and see the different search engines. So you were, referred once on Facebook, once on Google, and that's within the last 7 days. You can go 30 days, quarter, year, or all time. And then you can just start taking note of where you're being referred from, because those are the areas that you're going to be wanting to focus on, as far as maybe putting more blogs or campaigns or things along those lines. But you're referred 7 times in the last 30 days from Google search engine and also Facebook. So then you could do a quarter or all time. So let's just go back to site stats again. Okay, so now you can also look at the search engines that you were referred from. So you can look at, again, the summary, and then it'll show you also what pages that traffic is going to, and also what has been clicked on. And if any of your subscribers, which you don't have any, actually went to any of the pages. But this is a basic at a glance. Now, what we really need to do is you have a Google login. And you need to log into that Google, because when I set this up under Google. And I set up what's called Google Analytics. And Google Analytics actually gives you a more in-depth look. You can see this is the UA code, which is what is produced once you set up Google Analytics. And this is actually tracking all the traffic to your website, and it gives you a lot more feedback. But you have to log into Gmail in order to do that. Now we're going to show you how to do that in just a second. But before I do that, let me go ahead and show you, what I'm doing for SEO here. Now, I sent you over an email that shows you about the keywords so that you can understand the keywords. What you don't want to do is you don't want to get involved with what's called keyword stuffing. You don't want to take a bunch of keywords and then stuff them on your website where it doesn't make sense. You want to come up with about 5 to 7 keywords and then zero down to your top 2 keywords, and then you want to salt and pepper those in different variations throughout the website, and then use the other ones throughout the website as well. But here's the Webmaster Tools. We connected you to Google Webmaster Tools, so you need to actually be logged into Google Webmaster Tools and understand to see the traffic that's involved there. Let's see here. That's just the company information, tiles and metadata. Okay, so the metadata. What I have here is I have Firefox. You see, this is Firefox is what I'm using. And Firefox, I downloaded a plugin called SEO Quake. Now, SEO Quake allows me um, to take a really good look at any website and the traffic and everything that's going on with that website. So what I do is I go to the home page or any page and I click on the little icon, and you can see all the in-depth stuff that it allows me to do. But what I'm going to do is content not available. Okay, so I got to clear my history here. Okay, so let me just do a refresh. Okay, and so this is going to give you a look inside. Now you can see text to HTML ratio is low, so that's an SEO area that you want to focus on. And you can see you're getting a green light for everything. So when we set this up, there's a basic SEO structure that you want to have, and you can see obviously you're getting green lights for everything. But this is what your page title is. Okay, nice and simple. That's what you want your page title to look like. And this is your meta description. Okay, we have keywords in here such as DOS implementation, public safety. I don't know if that's going to be a good keyword for you, because public safety can be all kinds of areas. So you might want to find out a good variation of public safety that's going to be more in your industry, such as wireless public safety or public safety wireless or something like that, than just public safety. Then you got in-building communications, cellular DOS. Those are all keywords that we put into this description to target. So those are the keywords. Those are some of the main keywords that you would come up with, or that Google will associate you with so far. But what you need to do really is, again, zero down from those keywords, and those are the ones that I found would be the best for you based on what you guys offer. But you might have a different type of keywords in mind. For example, I work with some customers and they're very particular on certain keywords they want to get ranked for. And what we do is we put those keywords in Google, and then we look for like companies, and we start looking at those like companies. Let me just give you an idea. So we want to look at in-building communications, just for example. And what we do is we go to Google and we do a search for in-building communications. If you want to get specific, let's see where you guys are located. Michigan. Okay, so you can look at all these. Now, what's great about some of this stuff is you see these ads down here. I'm looking for in-building communications, but when I did this search, there was an ad that somebody paid for that says communications building. So that tells me that that keyword is actually a hot keyword, because someone had to pay for that keyword in order for it to get ranked right now on this page. All right, and you can also look down here too: design, built, wired, factory, delivered, customized, integrated, strong. So building, blog, and so what I see here is we have a keyword that we can take and put to the side, because we might want to use that in maybe a blog or one of the pages that we use. Also, we have these related searches as well, which is in-building communication systems, in-building communication systems PPT, which I don't think that's good. Emergency responder radio coverage in buildings. So these are, you don't have to take all of them, but if you might want to find some of them, you put them to the side and you put them in an Excel spreadsheet, and then you use those throughout the content that you use. And so that now you're using the variations from in-building communications, but you're also using some other things that are working as well, that are suggested by Google for that type of keyword, and also what ads are coming up with. So you just put those to the side, because we're going to do the same thing with those ones too. We're going to put that in, and we're going to copy that. We're going to look at this. So that's all part of the keyword research. And there's also tools that you can use, such as Google AdWords, and other tools that we use that will help you really get deep into the keywords. But when I typed in building communications, the best practices for in-building communications, maybe you want to create a blog that says best practice for in-building communications and come up with information in regards to that. In building, let's look at this, in building communications for public safety agencies. So you can also get an idea. So if I was going to rank for in building communications, look how they're doing this. In building communications is in the title, and in building communications is in the meta description. So it's really a matter of finding out what your top keyword is and then ranking for it. Now we're just using this as an example based on one of your keywords that we set up for. So that I hope that helps you out a little bit. Now, and we can go deep into that, but another thing that you want to do too is in building communications Michigan, okay? Because that's where you're located. So now you're looking at just the Michigan location, and you're looking at potential companies. Now, what's great about that is you can look at the companies that get pulled up, or the websites that get pulled up, and you can start looking at what they're using. Here's that communications building again, okay? Let's just see, design, built, wired factory. Let's take a look at that real quick. Is this a metal buildings, communications buildings? Okay, so this is definitely not what you do. You do something completely different. So that might not be a good keyword for you, although it's coming up with in-building communications under a keyword that somebody paid for. So that might not be a good keyword for you because obviously you don't do that kind of stuff. But you could use that in some way, wireless communications in buildings or something like that. But you'd have to think about that. So these are the companies that are coming up for that. So in building communications might not be a really good keyword. Now again, we're using that as just an example. But let's take a look at a couple of your other keywords. RFQ offers. Okay, so DAS implementation. That's a really good one. So let's just take a look and see what happens when you search for DAS implementation. Okay, so you got a lot of stuff coming up here. So you got DAS building. Okay. Professional DAS installs. Let's take a look. Make sure that the industry is a like industry. And here's communications. I believe this is sort of a competitor of yours, right? So now we're getting somewhere. So now we got DAS building. We can put that to the side. We got DAS. We can put that to the side. Distributed antenna. Put that to the side as a possible keyword. Then we're looking in their descriptions on here. Expert DAS design. That's a keyword. Professional DAS installs. Free site surveys, free DAS assessment. So you put all those variations to the side, and then anywhere we talk about DAS, we're gonna want to add that there. The same thing with this one, single source for total products design. Okay. So what's great about looking at these ads and taking some stuff from these ads is the fact that these are ads that people paid for. So they actually had to pay a certain dollar amount for these keywords to actually pull up on this page when someone searches for DAS implementation. Now you can even get more to the point and just search for distributed antenna systems. And so really what you have to do is figure out, what do you want people to find you under? Okay, because there's a whole lot of things that you do. So, and you can actually optimize each page if you wanted to, and then you can do the work to do that. But you have to figure out, what do I want to be ranked for? Okay, if you have many different options, for example, you have experts for public safety. So you want to get pulled up for public safety, not public safety as a whole, but public safety in terms of wireless solutions for public safety. So public safety communications. So that's why we put that there. So then you look at that, and now you can rank for public safety communications, and this is all that comes up. Okay, same scenario, and then you optimize that page. So it just works. That's how you would start going into start understanding what keywords you want and how to rank for them, and it really boils down to what you want to be ranked for. So, and then you have to put in the work to be able to get ranked for those. Now, what I mean by putting in the work is doing integrated marketing, making sure that you have social media with blogs that are that match up to the keywords that you're using. You want to make sure that if you're using search engines, not search engines, but press releases, video marketing. So let's say that let's say that you put together a marketing plan, and that in the first month you want to focus on DAS systems. So you get all the variations of DAS systems that you would want to work with. Okay, and you start figuring how can I salt and pepper some of these ones in my website, which we have. We got all kinds of variations of DAS implementation throughout your DAS communications. So there is a lot of variations, and it's in a way to where you're not oversaturating it, because search engines will look at that and say, well, this is a spam website and they're just spamming. So you want to just use a little bit here and there. But what we need to do is we need to do hyperlinking, where we can hyperlink this DAS implementation maybe to a blog that you put together for DAS implementation, and also maybe a blog that we did outside. We can link it to that. So there's all kinds of things that you can do. We can link it to a video that you created on YouTube about DAS implementation, or maybe a video that you blogged in your blog about DAS implementation, because the search engines will respect that. Another area that you want to take a look at is, let's just take a look at cellular DAS for a second. If let's say that DAS implementation is one of your keywords, well then you want to put DAS implementation inside the href or the href. Okay, you want to put that up there as well, so that you have variations of that keyword as well. I have a company that does Montessori child daycare, and so one of the main keywords he wants to be ranked for is child daycare. So he, in all of the hrefs, it's href is, let me just, okay, all of his links, he has I put child daycare in there. So what happens is when somebody types in child daycare, obviously the search engine is going to be like, oh, here's a link that's for child daycare, and then all of a sudden on his webpage it also has all those variations in there as well. So those are some of the things. Those are just some of the things that I can give you to kind of get started in that area. But really, you're going to want to look at you're going to want to sign into Google, right? And let's just take to one of my customers' websites. Okay. Okay, they changed the password. Okay, I have to get that new password. Let's see here. I know that one's not going to work because that one's been changed about 35 days ago. Let's see if this one's still working. Okay. Oh, they probably changed that one too. Okay. Okay. So here's a company here. And so what you want to do is log into your Google. Okay, once you log in, you type in Google Webmaster Tools. Okay. And then when you go to Google Webmaster Tools, you just click on here, and it takes you right to Google Webmaster Tools. And then same thing, Google Analytics. You type in Google Analytics, and it takes you right into Google Analytics. You just have to click sign in, and then go to Analytics, and it lets you sign in. Okay? That simple. That easy. So that's what you have to do. Now, once you get that far, you can actually look into the traffic a little bit better. Let me kind of... sign in. Different user. Let's try Unicube maintenance. Okay. Alright, so let me go with them. Okay, Google Webmaster Tools. Okay, so I already set this up for you. It's already verified. This is just an example. Um, and you see that Google gives you feedback, increase in soft 404 pages. So that lets me know that I can go back into this website and find out what 404 redirects are happening or what 404 pages are coming up, and I can set up redirects. But there's all kinds of things that you can have feedback on. HTML improvements. And not all these HTML improvements are going to be 100% accurate. They're just giving you suggestions on what can improve, but you have to make the ultimate decision whether or not it's going to be overkill or not, or as far as all the suggestions that they're making for you. Let's see. Any security issues, it'll tell you. If there's been any security issues, you can look at your sitemaps, make sure that you're being indexed, make sure that the robots.txt is being indexed. You can fetch as Google, which is good because every time you set up or make no changes to your website, you just do fetch or fetch and render, and then you submit all those URLs to a web page. So you could actually do it by one page. So if you actually go in and you're just updating this cellular DOS, then you would take all this and then you would go to your webmaster tools and you would just type it in so that it has the full URL, and then hit fetch and render, and or either one, and then you just submit that, and then it's going to tell Google that you've actually updated that information. So there's a lot that you can do. Now let's just look at Google. Analytics, okay? So Google Analytics, let's see here, sign in, analytics. Okay, so this kind of gives you an idea of what's going on. So how you want to do Google Analytics is you go down to behavior, and then you go down to site content, and you look at all pages. Okay, and so you can see all the different pages, and this gives me a lot of insight, okay, because these pages right here, I don't recognize these pages. So this might mean that maybe this site was hacked at one point, and we need to look into that. And there's residuals of this on the web, which means I can set up a 404 redirect to go back to the web page so that the the traffic will actually give me a positive respect. So those are things that will let me look at that. So again, you can see there's 19 pages. So look at all these pages here. There was about 19 pages, and so I want to look into all these. And this right here lets me open up the pages, and that gives me the site traffic. So I got page views, unique views, and the difference between the two is the page views is like if somebody searched for you on Google, this is how many times your website came up, 345 times. But this is a different company. I'm just using it as an example because I can't get into your Google Analytics because I don't have your login anymore to your Google. But then the unique page views are people that actually physically clicked on the link to go to the web page. So these actually are the ones that we want to focus on. And then so that gives you the insight to what's happening with the traffic on your website. There are other things that you can do with with finding out referral keywords and stuff like that. So but that's going more in an in-depth situation. But I'm not going to go there. But just site stats, all pages is all you need to really worry about for right now, to kind of get the idea of the traffic. So I hope that this was able to help you. I did go sort of deep in there for you, but I wanted to make sure that I was thorough in regards to at least the keyword process, how to understand the keywords a little bit better, and how to do research on the keywords so that you can kind of get an idea of how you want to start that process if you decide to go down that road. Again, I'm here to help you, so if you need me to help you in any kind of way or provide you with any insight, just let me know. Thank you so much. Bye.